Hey everybody, Homeslice Henry here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some incredible spice in the Open Ultra League, level 50 XL Qwilfish. This trainer has submitted battles to the channel a few times, typically specializing in Alomomola lead, Dragalge as the safe switch, and XL Qwilfish as the closer. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out XL level 50 Qwilfish in action in the Open Ultra League. Hopping to the first match, leading Alomomola into Scrafty. Unfortunately, this is a slightly negative lead, just because Alomomola does not charge very quickly, and you have to get to Blizzard to do any meaningful damage. No shield in the first, the opponent actually goes for a power-up punch bait, but Alomomola has so much HP that even a boosted foul play here, it can easily survive, and it's going to be able to reach the Blizzard. This will do some solid damage if it does go unshielded. Scrafty commits the shield, and then they're going to save switch into Dragalge. This is enough for a foul play, and a boosted foul play would hurt. They call the bait, it's the foul play, and that is unfortunate. That does big damage, and the opponent is able to catch the Aqua Tail onto Swampert. Definitely good to bait the Swampert out, as Qwilfish definitely doesn't want to see it, the Swampert. Very nice counting by the opponent, farming up until just before the next Aqua Tail, before going for the Hydro Cannon to KO, and now they bring in Alomomola. And EQ is definitely KOing from here. They might be, and then Qwilfish is able to farm down. Swampert must have been just short of the EQ, and there's a Talonflame in back. And suddenly, Qwilfish with a shield advantage looks like it might actually be able to pull this off. Just need to start spamming out these Aqua Tails, and that does so much damage for an Aqua Tail. Holy crap. Getting to a second Aqua Tail. This could possibly be the Brave Bird, definitely have to shield it up. They just go for the Flame Charge. They're farming up quite a bit. They bring in Scrafty. Scrafty reaches a move. You can very safely shield this up and farm up to 2. They call it, and it's the foul play that almost KOs, but Qwilfish is able to get to the back-to-back. This should be taking out the Scrafty, and then the Aqua Tail should be taking out the Talonflame. Oh my goodness, bit of a heart racer there at the end, but Qwilfish able to get the job done. Picking up a fantastic lead in the next match, Alomomola into Shadow Nidoqueen. The opponent safe switches into a Shadow Snorlax. Unfortunately, this team doesn't have a fantastic response to a Shadow Snorlax, so they opt to bring in Dragalge. Dragalge, letting the first move through, just ends up being a body slam, farms up to the back-to-back Aqua Tails, and is baiting, hoping for a shield while threatening the Outrage, and is able to get the shield. That is a really good spot, but if it doesn't, Snorlax should be at the move, and Snorlax gets there. Oh, this is not good. I think you have to let this go. Qwilfish, even when XL'd, is so glassy that you probably have to save a shield for it, and the final Pokemon is revealed to be Scrafty. So the opponent running a pretty standard ABB style team, Nidoqueen on the lead, Double Weak to counter in the back. Scrafty is opting to go straight power-up punch in this matchup versus Alomomola, recognizing that they're probably going to need to buff their attack quite a bit if they want Scrafty to try and sweep. Alomomola does get to the Blizzard. This will do a solid chunk boosted. So this is a tough call. Are they going to bait? They shield it up, and they get baited with the power-up punch. That is very unfortunate. Qwilfish over-farming quite a bit, and now they're going for the Aqua Tail. 2 Aqua Tails will not KO, but they're able to reach the Ice Beam. Come on, Ice Beam. Please be enough to take out. Ice Beam does take them out, and now in comes the Shadow Nidoqueen. Qwilfish, recognizing they're not going to be able to get to 2 Aqua Tails, opting instead to go for the Ice Beam, which does more damage overall. Ice Beam lands, Switch Clock is up from here. It does not. Alomomola too tanky, and that's a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Alomomola into another scrap. Definitely the way you want to go, as those foul plays do add up even against the Pokemon with as much HP as Alomomola. Going to let the second foul play through, and now go for the Blizzard. Blizzard will be getting that Scrafty quite low matchup for Dragalge, but definitely good to bait it out, so that way Qwilfish doesn't have to go up against it. They shield, and it is the Earthquake. Very, very clutch shield there. Dragalge going to overfarm quite a bit. They are one shy of the back-to-back Aqua Tails, and now going to start applying some pressure. Galarian Stunfisk decides to shield, and they're actually going to let this through, calling the bait, and it is the Rocks, and then get off the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail will not kill here. Galarian Stunfisk is quite tanky, but it will be able to get it low, and hopefully into farm down range for Alomomola. Alomomola able to farm down, they bring in Scrafty, and they're able to catch on the Qwilfish. I think this is a power-up punch, which it is, And now the Scrafty switches out, and it's a Talonflame in the back quite nicely, as Qwilfish will be able to pretty significantly outpace Talonflame. Shields up, ends up being the Flame Charge bait, but that is not going to matter. But what may matter is the lag there. Shadow Swampert is definitely a scary Pokemon for this team to see, as it gets to these Earthquakes incredibly quickly and wittingly looking dire. Dragalge going for the Outrage. Outrage lands, but does not come close to KOing. And the Cresselia is able to Psycho Cut down. So Cresselia leaves with a decent amount of energy. At this point, you kind of just have to bring in Alomomola, use it as a damage sponge, and trust in 2-shield Qwilfish. They get to the Psychic, but the opponent catches onto Swampert, and the opponent is able to preserve the Cresselia for the endgame, and that is not what you want to see, because that Cresselia still has a decent amount of energy. And now in comes Qwilfish. Unfortunately, Cresselia does reach a move. Going to shield up, you have to respect the Future Sight. They bait with the Moonblast. Qwilfish overfarming as much as they can, and now going for the kill shot with Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail is shielded, and Cresselia is at a second move. Again, you have to respect it. They do go for the Future Sight. Qwilfish farming up, and the back Pokemon is revealed as Talonflame, and maybe there's a chance. Unfortunately, Qwilfish has no shields, so they're getting the Aqua Tail, doesn't KO, but they're able to catch onto the Alomomola. Oh, ton of energy. They're going for the Aqua Tail to burn the Switch Clock. The Alolan Ninetales actually shields, wanting to preserve some health. They definitely didn't think it was a gunk shot. They already saw Outrage, and no one's running double nuke Dragalge. But now Qwilfish is in a pretty decent spot. Psyshock would probably be taking them out. XL Qwilfish is exceedingly glassy, but these Poison Stings and the Aqua Tail spam are real, but it will get them quite low, and they are going to be going for the second Aqua Tail just so they don't have to take any extra damage. Qwilfish, Talonflame will have to give up the shield, or they're going to be taking big damage from the Aqua Tail. They actually let it go. They are committing to the farm down, and they're able to do so. Unfortunately for them, this team's still in Alomomola. In comes Alomomola, and they're forced to Brave Bird, even though a Brave Bird will not KO. Alomomola is too close to a Psychic. Psychic will be taking care of the Talonflame, and that's a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading Alomomola into Shadow Walrein. This is definitely an awkward lead for this team. The waterfalls, of course, are going to be resisted, which in Dragalge in the back, that takes massive super effective damage from Powder Snow and Icicle Spear. You can't really switch out of this lead either. Alomomola does put up the shield, and they don't get baited, which is very nice. Walrein will outpace, but they can survive one Earthquake. I don't think they can farm down, so they are going to overfarm slightly and go for the Psychic. This should be the double Icicle Spear there, so the opponent may have thought they were shielding and wanted to get off some guaranteed damage. They bring in the Qwilfish to farm down. The opponent saves the Walrein. Is quite scary, and this is enough for the Earthquake. Do you commit the final shield? They call it, and it's the Rock Slide. That is a huge no shield, but unfortunately, Qwilfish is now in Rock Slide range. Able onto Dragalge. Oh, that is massive. This is tough because, yeah, this Galarian Stunfisk has a lot of energy. Do you let it go? They shield and they get baited. That's unfortunate. They bring in the Walrein, but Walrein just gets farmed down. They still have the Galarian Stunfisk, which is on pretty low HP for this team, which does triple counter it. Dragalge with very nice move timing, throwing the Aqua Tail just before be able to take out with an Aqua Tail. They still have the Galarian Stunfisk left alive in the back to Shadow Swampert. Shadow Swampert definitely scary for the backline to see, so definitely nice to see it on the lead. As we've seen, Alomomola can survive an Earthquake, but it does big damage, so they do decide to commit the shield, and they're going to fire back with the Psychic. Landing this would be really nice, Alomomola, before it goes down. This Earthquake will land, and the question is, can they reach a second Earthquake before they get taken out? This should just be a Hydro Cannon, which Alomomola should survive at this health range. They do survive. Opponent goes for the snipe with the Shadow Walrein, but Alomomola holds on, and they're going to be able to fire back with the Psychic. Psychic lands, and they're forced to bring in Qwilfish. You definitely don't want to bring a Dragon type into Shadow Walrein, so they do bring in Qwilfish, but unfortunately, Qwilfish can only hit for resisted damage with this charge moveset. This Aqua Tail will not KO, and Walrein will be able to reach an Earthquake. They're actually calling it. They're willing to let it go down, and the opponent baited. What a call. This should just be another Icicle Spear, so you can definitely let this go. You should be able to survive it and then reach the Aqua Tail, but the opponent makes a very nice catch, catching the Aqua Tail onto Trevenant. You can bring in the Dragalge to match the Trevenant, but this is going to be a tough baiting game, as Shadow Ball will do big damage. Do you decide to let it go? They call it, and they call the Seed Bomb. All the shield calls going wrong. They're going for a second Aqua Tail just to get some chip damage, even if they're able to farm down Trevenant. In comes Walrein, and Walrein saved an Icicle Spear. Icicle Spear will be taking out the Dragalge, but there's still a Alomomola on very low HP, and there's the Qwilfish. Qwilfish switches and able to catch onto the Alomomola. Oh my goodness, what a catch. Qwilfish is going to be able to use the Aqua Tie. An incredible final match to close out these battles. My goodness. XL Qwilfish is in no means a Pokemon I would recommend investing in, but it is so fun to watch someone take the time to invest the resources into building a really unique XL pick and then be able to put it to some good use as well. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. To our members here on YouTube, the support you guys provide is absolutely incredible, and we have released merch. I have the design on screen, link to the merch shop in the description. Definitely go check it out, as we've got some really cool stuff in there. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I've been Home Slice Henry.